Bonjour tout le monde from a slightly warmer Normandy today. Sun shining outside. Thought we'd try and have a go at doing a sketch, a pre-painting sketch of this 2CV. Very famous, iconic car all around the world, really. Very French, of course. Very difficult to paint, sketch cars without a grid. Normally you sort of grid something like this and to get an accurate rendering, but we're just going to have a go with a sketch, see if we can sketch it out with paint. This could go badly wrong, but hey, I'm up for anything, or most things. So I'm going to use some sienna paint, easy to paint over after you've painted the sketch. So here we go. Let's see where we want to place the car. We've got a fender. We don't want it too close to the edge. One of the fenders sort of about there. Back of the car about, let's say, about here. Let's see if we can get the roof in around about there. And we've got some ground. The bottom of the wheels will probably go around about here. So let's see if we can get it into all there without going mightily wrong. I'm going to start with the center line of the bonnet, I think, which is sort of, about there. It goes back a bit there. Okay, thereabouts. Let's get a bumper in. This is pretty tricky, I think. So get ready for something that looks like an upside down pram rather than a car. Okay, so here we go. So sort of a bumper line in there. Wet paint. I don't want this to be too thick. I want it to be quite loose and sketchy. You may get maybe a few paint runs here and there. So I've got that in. That fender sort of goes up to there. This might be too big actually, so I'll reduce that down. That's going to come. Yeah, no, that's actually going to be okay. Let's sort of get in the top of the bottom of the windscreen, I think. Maybe around about there, perhaps. Bottom of the windscreen, top of the windscreen, maybe about there. Just a sort of a quick basic line in. Now we do a little check from the center line of the bonnet to the outside edge of the bonnet, which is sort of around about there. And then this distance here, which is probably about that, I think. It's all by eye. I have no measuring instruments, anything like that. So let's get that into there. That's where the fender comes out, around about there. Big old fenders. And let's just move across to this side. I don't want to continue too much with that in case I've got all this wrong. So let's go across to this side. This side will be a little bit longer than that side because of the perspective. The vehicle's facing that away. So this will be a little bit longer proportionally. So we'll just do that, and it comes up to, let's see, let's make this meet if we can. Comes up to about, now we don't want to get this bonnet too high. So maybe if we just sort of put an indication of where the radiator goes. So we've got to try and get a few things in to work off the reference, to work with the reference. So if we sort of get that, I think that's about the size of the radiator, something like that. Let's check out this distance here. I do this anyway. I just sort of do things like that just to help me get the distance right. This is going to be a bit bigger than that, but it's all by eye, so I don't want too much of a distance between the top of the radiator and the top of the bonnet, or if you're watching in America, the hood. So that goes up to there. There's a centre line, so that's roughly about there. It's going to come down to about there. Top of the bonnet. This side of the bonnet slopes down. Both the tops of the bonnet slope. Comes across to there, I think. We'll check that out in a minute. That comes to there. probably somewhere about right, and then we'll just bring up the windscreen pillars, which are there and there. Okay, now this is it's a very skinny windscreen, so we'll put that metal plate, I don't know what it's called, windscreen plate, it goes across there, and that's the top of the. Let's do a little check at this point. If I take put my thumb at the top of the bonnet and the end of the paintbrush on top of the roof and see how far down that comes. So this distance should be about the same as that, there, which it roughly is. Maybe get that a little bit higher. It's about there. Okay, so moving on. Fenders. Let's try and get this. Now, if we take a line down from the pillar, the windscreen pillar, we'll see that it bisects the wheel. So the fender comes out to there. The centre of the wheel, or not off centre rather, is going to be about here, something like that. The wheels turn, so you get this nice elliptical shape of the hub and its accompanying bits. Fender comes up quite high above the radiator grill there, so that's top of your fender there, we hope. And then this fender, which is quite long, let's just a little check. The line of the bonnet to the end of the fender is the same as that. Okay, so that should be that. So that's about right. Yeah, it's a big old fender coming out there. Bring that up to there. That's there. So let's just get this door line sorted. So the slight upward angle on the door there comes up there. Check this distance out between there and there. That's a little too high perhaps? So hang on, let's get that there. A lot of things to take in here. There we go. That's the top of the fender. So that's more or less there. It comes out to there. Now, length of the car, length of that sort of windscreen pillar to the back of the car is that. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just check that again. Make sure that's there, so it's about that. So the back of the car, back of the windows rather, needs to come here. Like so. It comes down there like that. So we've got this. So I think that is the fender there. I use a lot of lines. One of them's going to be right. Comes down there. Let's just get for our reference, let's just get a headlamp in. There's a headlamp. There's another one. Like so. And then we've got the bottom of the car. There is a name for these, I can't remember what it is. They're the bits that always go rusty on lots of cars from years gone by. Sills, that's it, the sill, I think it's a sill. That comes down there. Now we want to not make this, look at the negative space here. We don't want to make that too big. Paintbrush comes down there, just see how the back of that bisects through, the back of that fender bisects through the window there. Okay, so that must be the middle window pillar. That comes up there. That comes down there like that. I hope this isn't looking too much like a Volkswagen at the moment. It comes down to there like that. Now we've got our. So I made a mistake here because we thought we'd have it coming out there, but it's not. It's going to come down here. But that's not too big a deal. That comes there. So we bring the door. So how's that looking? There like that, there like that. Are these windows too big? And once we get these pillars in, the thickness of the pillars, that comes there. Now that's looking not too bad, I don't think. Have the rear fender comes out, there's a slight bend on that, a slight bow. Now let's see how, if you take a horizontal line, so the top of that fender cuts through there, that looks about right. So then we bring our wheel down like this, like so, comes into there. And we sort this wheel out a little bit. It's got an angle, a camber on the wheel, heavily cambered wheel. Look at me talking car stuff. This metal bit of the wheel comes down there. The wheel's very skinny, we don't want to make them look too fat on this. That looks about right there. Now, is that fender too wide? That fender on the left could be too wide. Let's do a check. Paintbrush to the far end of the fender, thumb on the mudguard. Let's see how it checks out with that one. So it's that. So that there. So well, it looks kind of right. Sort of. So you get that there. We've got those little metal bits coming in there like that, like that. Okay. Let's get that sort of bumper put in a little better, just for reference. At the moment, I've got the, is that an overrider? It sits there like that. I've got another overrider here. And then that comes down like so. This, I think, is the CV joint. I'm not a mechanic. I do mend my own cars out of necessity, really, rather than pleasure. I don't enjoy rolling around under a badly supported car waiting for it to fall on me. So, but anyway, I do it. So I think that's the wheel there. That's your wheel just there. We'll just block those in a little bit so we know where we are. That's a wheel there, like so. And then there's another wheel here, sort of there and there. Maybe that could be too big. I think this wheel is far too big. So we'll alter that with a bit of, so that needs to come like that. That needs to come there. It's far too, the tyre's far too fat. So we'll white that bit out when we get to the white paint. Got the hub there, the hub center. Very skinny tyres, that's what I'm forgetting. The tyres are super skinny. Maybe that's too like that. That's about there. That wheel looks about right. That's sort of skinny wheel. It comes. Let's see how that cuts through that tyre there. There we go. That looks about right. I think I'm being very lucky with this. It seems to be proportionally not too bad. Get that little bit of suspension there. There's a mud flap there. Oh no, that'll be the mud flap there as well, won't it? Of course, yeah. All right, okay. So let's just get the root. This is looking, the windscreen's looking a little small. So maybe we can just adjust that. That maybe has to come up a little higher, I think. Maybe get the roof up a little higher. And it comes around there. Maybe I've got this too. Oh, is the windscreen too narrow? Let's just check. That's the length of the windscreen, pillar to pillar. And I'll bring my brush down to there, and outside of the fender, it's part way through the grille, so that should be right. So that's too narrow, so we need to sort that out because the windscreen is too narrow. So where do we need to alter that? Comes through there. That looks, I think the windscreen should come here. So I think the windscreen should come there like that, and then that's it, and then come down there. So yeah, windscreen was too narrow, so it's okay. So you don't need to, well, we can't rub it out, no need for rubbers. We just, sorry, erasers. So bring that down there. So that's your windscreen there. That does that. and that. So I'm going pillar to the back of the car again, which is that. So if we do that, so yeah, this is, I'm getting back towards that point that I made earlier. So unfortunately, that the car has to be a bit longer. So I made the car too short. So I need to bring that out. So this is how to correct mistakes stress-free. You don't have to spend hours erasing stuff, rubbing stuff out, making a mess of your canvas. This is a piece of paper, but if you're doing this on a canvas and rubbing stuff out, then you make a bit of a mess of your canvas. Get that across there. I'm just going to sort that roof line out. Okay, that comes down to there. So the wheel will need to, unfortunately, that rather nice wheel I did is going to have to come out. Like so, like that. Okay, now I'm just going to, I'm reasonably happy with that. So what I'll do is I'm going to white out now some of these mistakes so that I know more or less where I'm going. I'm just going to put in some shadowy areas as well. Helps with reference and where I'm going later on. In fact, I'll go to a slightly bigger brush to do that. Save a bit of time. These videos can't be too long because I don't want you to lose interest, wander off, have a Mars bar or something like that. And want you to sort of sit here and I want to hold your interest for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you can go and do whatever. So just get those areas popped in there like so. That goes to there. Goes up to there. Black roof, so I'll put a little bit of a thing in there with the roof. It's slightly dark there. I think I'm just wondering, I think that sill should be a little higher up. Okay, I think that should be. Does that cuts across the top of this? Yeah, so the sill's a little higher up. So I'll alter that with some white paint. I'll in effect just blank out the mistake. Bottom of the tyre cuts through there. Okay, and this tyre here has to be on a similar level to that, so it needs to come down a little more. That needs to be a little cut off actually. Cut that wheel off a little bit. It's a little too tall. Okay, there and there. Right, so let's use some white paint. Just wash my brush. I'll use a little bit of white paint to correct some of the boobs I made. So just that was a mistake there. That was a mistake. Get rid of that. Tire's a bit tall. So I'll let that down a bit, and then I'll paint in the light metal area of the wheel, like so. Boom, comes down there, and then just white in a bit of the front fender mudguard thing, bumper. It's not a mudguard, it's a bumper. Comes there, and then got that white surround there. White area for the headlamps. That's there. So I need to white out. This back window's got a nice white reflection on it. It'd be nice to paint that later on, if you're going to paint this. I assume you are. Cut that there. Make that wheel a little skinnier. That goes there. White areas. Just put some white areas into the whiter areas, the shinier areas. All just helps for painting later. See that bonnet line's wrong, the original one, so just paint over that, and then it goes back like that, and we're almost there really. We just want to make this good enough to put the paint onto, to colorize it. That's all we're doing. Yep, we need to make that windscreen a little wider there, along there like that. And then we've got this slightly complicated folded and crimped and hood, shaped hood here. If I just put that dark area in there, this is a little complicated. That comes down there, and of course a dark grille. get that sort of dark in. Again, I'm not using super thick paint, just sort of thin paint, because you want to paint on top of this. And if you use your paints properly and thickly enough, they will cover. And also you don't run the risk of having thin, skimpy paints, because you've got to make it thick enough to cover these areas. That goes like that. Yeah, let's get this fender sorted out. That fender, we need the negatives, the gap in that fender, which actually comes right up there, like that, right up there. Very high fender. Gives it its sort of bizarre pram-like appearance. Fender's up there. That's it. That's the top of the fender. That's better. Okay, and then we've got a sort of a crimper line there. Just helps us. The pillar, the middle pillar is there. If we just emphasise the windscreen a little more, just to help with the painting aspect. Windscreen's there. Use a bit more white paint, I think, just to help us later. Comes to there like that. That goes around there. Just firm that up a little bit. Firm that up. Get that there. Just place these overriders a bit better. That's there. Back to the, just drop my brush, never mind. Back to the white paint. Let's just emphasise that a bit. And yeah, this fender comes right up here. Lights there. Okay, comes across there. Like so. And I'll tell you what we do need to put in. Just bring that under my brush. We need to put in just suggestion of the pillars through the windscreen there. You can see, so fairly thin paint, and we've got that one coming back there like that. The rear pillar is there, and then the inside back of the windscreen window is through there. It comes to that. Like that. You've got the open window thing there, but that can be put in later with paint. Same on this side, but again, something that can go in later on. I'll just put it in there just for now. Door centre. There's 4 doors on this, 4-door car. On there, and then of course that one comes down there. Let's just firm that up a little bit. I've got some lines, got a 3/4 window at the back, darkish bit there. Let's just whack in that rear wheel hub, centre part of the wheel. Goes in like that, like that. This goes in there. It'd be nice to get some better detail on here, but we will have to do it in the painting, which I'm sure you'll be doing after watching this. That's like that, and I'm going to sort of put a bit of a white marker around there, so I know where the wheel goes. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. There, I think we've got the shape sorted, and it's more or less ready to put some paint on. I think a little bit of a shadow there. It's difficult to know when to stop. Very important to know when to stop, but you know, I do enjoy this. So I'm kind of wanting to carry on a little bit more, but again, this is just a quick draw sketch that will allow you to start painting quickly and less chance of you getting bored or fed up, and just to make life a little bit easier for you in the art stakes of life. Art stakes, is it? That goes there, that goes there, a little bit more. We'll have a, this is going to be darker, slightly darker blue. The lights are not getting to it as much. Like that. And the mirror will go in, of course will go in later. We've just got the basic shape in now. Yeah, so I think our 2CV is there, and it's ready to paint. So thank you for watching this, and I'll catch you again from Normandy, hopefully a bit warmer. Have a great day, and happy painting. Goodbye.